Hello and welcome, everybody. My name is William Red, and I'm a TESOL instructor. Today, I will be discussing essential and general vocabulary for the grocery store. This video is specifically for anybody who is not an English native, but might be going to an English-speaking country, may it be the United States, Ireland, any location, and you wish to go into a grocery store. This video will give you some general vocabulary and essential vocabulary necessary to navigate the store efficiently. Okay, so without any further ado, we'll continue forward. What to expect in this video. First, we will discuss essential vocabulary with pause activities and between every 8 vocabulary words or expressions so that you can pause the video whenever you want. Listen to how I say the words in English, or just practice connecting the vocabulary to the different images. Then we'll have navigating the store, where I walk you through using the vocabulary to express getting through the store, getting the groceries, and leaving. All good steps, followed by general vocabulary, a thank you, and finally some resources with some TV shows and videos about working in grocery stores. Vocabulary. Entrance. The entrance is where you walk inside of a grocery store, where the doors are, right? That is the entrance. So in order to get into the grocery store, you must enter through the entrance. Now, grocery store is not the same as a farmer's market, okay? A grocery store is typically inside. It has brand products of varying kinds, produce, household items that are usually produced in a big factory, right? So in the United States, we have, for example, Walmart. We also have other types of grocery stores like Aldi, Meyer, Kroger's. In France, it would be situations like Carrefour and Match. A farmer's market is usually outside. It doesn't have to be, but a farmer's market is usually a group of farmers that have gotten together, that get together, and they sell produce that they grew themselves. Farmer's market. So it's not name brand per se. It is locally grown quite often or comes out of the ground. It doesn't go through some sort of process like in a grocery store for sanitation and health purposes, although it can be cleaned at a farmer's market. Groceries, that is the end product, the end result of going to the grocery store. It can be used as a general term, or it can mean specifically food, or it could be a mix, groceries. To check out is to go to the front of the store with all of the items that you want to buy, purchase, or take home, and you put them on this belt, right? It's called a conveyor belt, sometimes referred to as a counter, and the belt slides the items down to what is known as a cashier, who works behind the counter or the conveyor belt, and they scan your items with a scan gun or using a scan machine next to them or on the counter itself. Once those items are rung up, they put them in bags for you. But it's to check out is the verb. You might end up in a line leading up to the cashier, and that's referred to as the checkout line. Sometimes it's short, sometimes it's long. In some stores, there are these lights with a number on them above the cash register or the checkout area, and it tells you if it's on that somebody is able to check you out, or a cashier can. If it's not on, then nobody is available at that cash register. So a cashier, again, is somebody that works behind the cash register that handles the money. And at this time, you're welcome to pause the video and look at the images that are here. Try to associate the vocabulary that we've discussed so far with these images. And whenever you're ready, feel free to unpause the video and continue. An employee is a general term that includes cashiers, but it can also include managers or greeters. An employee. A greeter is somebody that works close to the entrance, for example, in Walmart, sometimes older, and what they'll say is something like, "How may I help you?" Like what's on the back of this greeter's vest. A greeter. Aisle is the hallway or the area between the shelving units or the shelves, right? So these big pieces of furniture that hold the food, that is right there. The floor in between is called an aisle. Aisle. And what you roll, right, roll through the aisle is known as a cart. It's sometimes a little squeaky. You put your food in it, your produce, your household items, and there's usually a little spot for a child to sit, or sometimes females will put their purse there. Cart. In the UK, this is referred to as a trolley. A cash register, or in the UK known as a till, is the piece of equipment that holds the money. Okay. Nowadays, it's more electronic. There's a little screen, and the cashier works behind the cash register or the till, and they help you purchase your items or pay for your items, right? To get your items out of the store, right? Maybe you might see while using your trolley or your cart, maybe you'll see these big, what are known in English as freezers, sometimes as refrigerators. Refrigerators can also be horizontal, laid out close to, let's say, a meat section. A freezer is a machine that keeps food and other materials below freezing. So, for example, in Fahrenheit, that would be 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And in Celsius, that would be 0 degrees Celsius. It would be below that. Okay. A refrigerator is not below 0 degrees Celsius or 32 degrees Fahrenheit. It just keeps food cool. Okay. A receipt is a piece of paper that you receive after you pay for your items. Okay. In French, it's known as a ticket. Right? So a receipt, right? You're receiving a piece of paper, receipt, because you paid for your items. Maybe you're not happy with something that you purchased and you bring it back to the store and you want to return it. Asking for your money back for the return is known as a refund. Maybe, you end up being a little upset because the item did not work or whatever the situation might be. Maybe you might end up like this gentleman who's a little upset, right? Who knows? Let's just be mindful that cashiers are people too. Okay, moving forward. Another pause activity. Take some time to look at the vocabulary images and try to match up the vocabulary from 9 through 16 to the images. To buy or to sell, that's usually what happens in a store, right? The store is selling items, produce, technology, movies, anything. And as a customer, you're buying. You're a buyer, right? A customer or a buyer. Some common expressions that you might hear English speakers say is to run to the store. Oh, I'll be right back. I'm going to go run to the store. Don't worry, nobody's actually running to the store. It's just a figurative expression that English speakers use. So you don't have to worry that it's a situation like Black Friday. In the United States, it's just to run to the store. It's just as easy to say to go to the store. You might hear employees say, "Can I help you?" Even if you're just walking around the store minding your business. In the United States, it's much more common for employees to ask you that. Whereas I've noticed in France, when I go into a grocery store, I don't hear employees asking me that. So that's just something to be mindful of. It might be a little startling at first. Can I help you? And you can respond by saying, yes, I'm looking for, or you can just say no. Another thing that you can say is, where can I find? And one way that employees or people that work at the grocery store notice that a person needs help is how the customer looks. And so if you look lost, you might find that employees will walk up to you more and ask if you're okay. So just keep that in mind. You might be telling them that you need more help than you actually need. Moving forward, your total is, and you'll see the screen, okay? The screen is usually attached to the cash register, and it'll look something like this. Total 147.51, which just means $147.51. Remember, in the United States, we use a period to separate dollars from cents, whereas in France, for example, or in Spain, it's a comma. Paper or plastic? A cashier or a person known as a bag boy or bag person might ask you whether you want to use plastic bags or paper bags to put your groceries in. Be mindful that most folks choose to use plastic. So if you want paper, make that very clear. Another thing that might be said, another expression is, would you like a bag? And this is usually used when the cashier isn't sure if you would prefer not to have a bag because you have less items. Maybe you're just buying a pack of gum, right? Or just a couple of sodas and a pack of gum. In that case, they might ask you, would you like a bag? But here's something funny to think. No, thanks. I'll just carry these items on my head, right? Would you like a bag? Also keep in mind that there are a lot of different ways to describe the containers that hold different kinds of food. Doesn't necessarily have to be food, but for this situation with the photo, think a can of soup, for example, a jar of marinara sauce, maybe, a bottle of water, or a box of crackers, right? It's not always about the material that the container is made of, right? Because a bottle of water is made with a plastic bottle typically, and here the jar of sauce is made out of plastic. So just keep that in mind. Generally, you can follow with the idea of can being metal, jar being glass, bottle being plastic, and box being cardboard of some sort or paper. Just be mindful that it doesn't have a direct association. Pause activity. Navigating the store, you'll run to the store, you'll walk through the entrance, you'll see the greeter, you'll go through the grocery store to the freezer section, get a frozen pizza, you'll check out, paper or plastic, your total is, and groceries. General vocabulary. What did we learn? In case you want to recap. Thank you with my personal information and email. And finally, resources. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope everyone has a great day.